Hey everybody, good morning, or whatever time you're watching this. It is Saturday morning, January 7th, 2017 at this end. We're getting ready for a blizzard here on this peninsula in Massachusetts called Cape Cod, so it's that time of year. I'm going to keep this pretty short today with a bit of a different twist. We talked a little bit recently about my own goals in terms of my trading, target amounts, educational objectives for this year. Talked a little bit about that last week, and so it is in both of those veins that I have made a decision at this end to begin including, to a far greater extent, options as a part of my trading. I have, as many of you know, been talking about futures and equities now for, oh gosh, probably closing in on 20 years in one form or another, and that is been a big part of my trading. If I don't recall if I mentioned this, but I finally did become a seat owner of the CME IOM seat this past fall. We've done these videos sporadically, so I forgot if I mentioned that, but I have done that. And so futures remains near and dear to my heart. Had a bit of a rocky Tuesday before settling things down Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So a rocky start to the year, but certainly more than offsetting that the rest of the week. And anyway, we're looking forward to more good things, hopefully there, if I keep my my act together. But back to my own goals. We've talked about targets. We've talked about education in some recent videos. I'm gonna make a conscious effort at this end to get much more involved with options. And it's something that's always been on my to-do list. It's I think very helpful in terms of just mixing that brain up a little bit to provide that not say rekindle passion, but continuing to fan the flame, if you will, of not getting stagnant, not just getting into the sleepwalking mode of doing the same thing day in, day out. So I'm going to be doing some work there, and I've got a lot to learn. I'm 55 years old. I've been in the markets for over 30 years. I have a public profile for 20, all in futures, all in S&P, NAS, that sort of thing, and equities. So I've got a lot to learn, and I'm looking forward to doing some catching up. And I've already started doing some. I have traded options in the past. I traded that actually as intensely as I did the futures this past week. For some reason, I find myself being able to hold both equities and options and equities longer than I can my futures trades, so that'll probably always be the case. But those of you who have been in the past jelly efforts know that I talk a lot about having a short-term mindset, and short-term account, and a longer-term mindset if one chooses to diversify and take advantage of multiple time frames. And for me, it's easier to do that with different vehicles. Same market, different vehicles. Something to do with the brain. So anyway, I'm going to be doing a lot of work on this. I want to share that. That is both part of my educational goal for this year, as well as I think helping me further get to that fairly aggressive goal that I shared with you a few weeks ago in terms of targeted asset appreciation. And so I'm going to actually turn the tables a little bit. Right, I've been talking for 15 years here on sharing what I feel about the futures markets, life of a trader. If you want to look over my shoulder, kind of feel as if you're living life through me or me through you, whatever. Again, I've always tried to provide that face to a trader. It just happens to be this one trader, to let you know that you're not alone out there, and it's not all smoke and mirrors. It actually is doable, but you have to follow certain rules. You have to stay in your game constantly, day in, day out. You have to have that passion, all that stuff we've talked about. But I'm going to turn the tables a little bit and actually ask for any of you who have been trading, I would say, SPY options or SPX options, which is my initial foray. If you wouldn't mind sharing any insights, and maybe what we do is we actually even schedule an evening chat session with those of you who have traded options to just talk a little bit about that. I know that there are clearly so many options, right? There's so many choices to make in terms of in the money, out of the money, SPY, ETFs versus stocks, the strike price that you're trading, all that sort of stuff, including the degradation as time moves on, and you get closer to expiration, all that kind of stuff. I'm a simple guy. And so in my simplistic world, all I'm looking to do right now really is including at least initially SPY options to trade alongside of my my futures trades, and basically using the exact same methodology. This is the methodology that I've used for years. It's that which I support, I encourage, I teach. But in doing so at this end, it certainly will allow me to keep certain factors in my own trading constant. And just put a bit of a different twist on the same charts, the same formations, the same setups. Interesting leveraging angle in terms of, comparing. In fact, I've got a chart right here that I've been working on lately that compares the number of option contracts that are, equivalent to ES, the leverage vehicles, right down to the commissions, obviously, as a seat owner of the Merck. I have transaction costs which are far less than many of you have, and so at what point does it get to a situation where commission transaction costs end up being somewhat foolish to move to options because of my good CME pricing. But on the flip side, there's a leverage piece of this. And those of you who have heard me over the years know I'm not a huge proponent of leverage, but there is a leverage component of this if I choose to get very aggressive, where we are actually able to trade with a given amount of capital more options than futures contracts. And I'm probably saying stuff that you guys already know. Many of you do. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you that I'm going to be looking to be like a sponge and absorb as much as possible. I know that many of you do trade options. I've actually spent part of this morning perusing some sites out there in terms of traders that are proven in this. And whether we do it in an evening chat or one-on-one Skype session or group session or even phone call, I'm reaching out to you for once. If you are so inclined, I'd love to chat with you. I'd love to pick your brain about what you're doing. Are you using weekly options? Using, for example, right now, January expiration monthly options. I am aware of liquidity issues at times. I don't think there's an issue there with the monthly SPYs, but SPY versus SPX, pros and cons on that I've seen. But I'm looking for those of you who may be doing this in a fairly active manner. And I'm talking, hundreds, if not thousands, of contracts in your trades. And if you're not there, but you feel, you still, have a good handle on this, we all start somewhere. I'd welcome that chat as well. So, wanted to basically share that with you. Please reach out. Email Don at donmillereducation.com. You can tweet me if you want to get a group dialogue going there. That's fine. At Miller Don remains available. I remain not that active, especially during the trading week on social media. It is one of my goals this year to limit that involvement. I think I got caught up a little bit too much in that in recent times, and I have to remind myself that for every character that I type during the trading day, that is one nugget of focus that's removed from my ability to optimize results, and I have to be accountable to myself. So this year is going to be the year for me of accountability with myself and with you. It's going to be, and you'll hear more about that in the coming weeks. It's going to be my year of integrating more fully options into my own trading, and then sort of along the accountability line, but making sure that the life that I am living outside of my trading week is one appropriate for the business, is appropriate for my life, is appropriate in ways where I'm not losing focus, I'm not sleepwalking my life nor my businesses, which I think I've gotten caught up into looking back at recent times. So I'm making some, course corrections, course adjustments. I want to be accountable to myself. I want to be accountable to you in various ways, and I want to have some fun learning about options and in making that a large segment of my trading. So that's all I got for you this morning, folks. Again, snow is beginning to fall, but please feel free to reach out to me. Tell me like it is. Tell me to stay away if you think I should stay away. But I'm intrigued, and actually, it's got me excited in a way where it was almost like it was when I started trading the futures markets. And I know a lot of people make the switch from equities to futures, as I did. Options kind of fits into that in various time segments in terms of career progression for many people. Many people start off with options and never leave. Equities to options, certainly a viable route. How many go from equities to futures to options? Those of you who have traded futures and options, again, we're talking ETFs primarily. Pros and cons in terms of how you have seen it impact your trading, your mentality, your approach to this business, the good, the bad, the ugly, as I've always tried to share with you on the futures side. So that's what I got this morning. We'll keep it brief, stay warm, and I look forward to the chat. Take care. Bye.